Shalini Goyal Bhalla, Managing Director at International Council for Circular Economy. I welcome you all to yet another episode of the Circular Chat, Season 6, based on action and impact within India and how companies are looking at making impact using circularity. Today we have with us Mr. Gupta, who has 29 years of rich experience in petroleum industry and market and is currently handling the HSSE Health, Safety, Security and Environment vertical at Bharat Petroleum. He is GRI certificate professional, NEBO certified expert, and ISO lead auditor. He has been instrumental in writing the sustainability reports for BPCL and has driven many initiatives like zero waste to landfill certification, GHG inventorization, reduction in emissions, carbon sequestration, study and composting of organic waste. Mr. Gupta has also got BPCL benchmark for sustainability on various global platforms like DGSI, CDP, Sustainalytics, etc., with credible results. Welcome, Mr. Gupta.
Thank you, Shalini.
Sir, it's an honor to have you today, and especially from an industry which is fossil fuel based, working on petroleum, and which is under one of the most critics as we speak. And most of the fossil fuel based industry is now looking at reducing their own emissions. So, how is BPCL looking into reducing the emissions?
Shalini, you are absolutely right that we are fossil fuel based industry, and our product itself is creating emissions. But at the same time, oil companies are taking a lot of initiatives to cut down the emissions from its own processes. See, we cannot stop our product because that is how we are running our business. But our own consumption of energy, we are trying to reduce it. And for that, we have taken targets. See, BPCL somewhere in 2021, we have taken targets to become net zero by 2040, basically for scope 1 and scope 2 emissions. Now, if I just tell you what is scope 1 is that energy, what we consume, and scope 2 is what we purchase. Right now, India's focus is not on scope 3 because that is slightly difficult. And for that, India has taken a target by 2070. So we have taken, world has gone for 2050 target, but BPCL has taken a target of 2040 to reduce the emissions and become net zero in scope 1, scope 2 emissions. And for that, a lot of activities which are taking place within the industry across oil companies, I would say, which includes, one is improving the efficiency within the refineries, right? Because energy efficiency itself can cut down emissions by almost 8 to 10%. We are also looking for renewables by increasing our solar and wind capacities. And we have taken a target by 2040, we will be 10 gigawatt capacity, whereas presently we are 95 megawatt. So it's a huge jump from let's say 95 to 10 gigawatt by 2040. So that is what we are looking into renewables, where major is solar and wind, right? We are also looking for tidal energy. I don't know if you have been to this IE recently. We have also had a joint, MOU signed with one Israeli company, where we are also trying to capture tidal energy to generate electricity. Right. So all types of possibilities of looking into using of renewable energy we are setting up, and I think that will help us to cut down emissions by almost 20%. Right. The other field is CBG, biofuel. Government is already coming out with biofuel policies where ethanol has been increased up to 20%. The oil industry right now is mixing almost 19%. That is what minister has declared in IEW. But we are also in the same line. And India, I think by 2025, as per biofuel, we are adding ethanol in petrol to almost to an extent of 20%. But that will help, this ethanol addition will help scope 3, cutting down on scope 3 emissions. Scope 1 and 2 emissions, we will be using biofuel as a fuel now by generating it through CBG, compressed biogas. So for that, no, lot of projects are being already allocated, and BPC is going to set up almost 26 plants. And for our net zero, we are supposed to set up almost 200 plants, right? So that is where no transition is taking place. We are looking various raw materials like municipal solid waste, your parali or the agriculture waste, no, all types of waste we are looking at, and we are waiting for government to come out with the policy of offsetting of that, right? Once offset will come, then we can set up plant anywhere and can use no that gas anywhere, and that will help us cut down emissions by almost another 25 to 30%. Then another thing is no green hydrogen. I hope you have heard about green hydrogen by now. Lot of activities are going up over there, and green hydrogen is something which is being made through electrolyzer, where water electrolysis is being done, and there no you are not using fossil fuel, because water only has two components, hydrogen and oxygen, right? So if you know burn hydrogen, it will give you again water vapor or water. So once there is no carbon, means there is no emission over there. So that is another focus area that we are looking into, and we are setting up 1 2 tons per day plant at Bina refinery.
Okay.
Right. Similarly, we are also looking for, I mean, scaling up of plants. There is another plant we are setting up at Kochi refinery, basically with the collaboration of Kochi International Airport, where we are using indigenous bark technology, and that electrolyzer is going to be used to generate hydrogen and refueling the buses of Kochi International Airport. Right. So, I mean, this is second one. Then similarly, we are also looking for scaling up more and more hydrogen processes by generating SAF, or by by adding more, or by maybe scaling up larger capacity of hydrogen plant at different places. And our R&D is also into it, trying to find out which is the best electrolyzer, because electrolyzer technology is also changing drastically, and presently there are four, but we have chosen alkaline electrolyzer, right?
Okay.
And once hydrogen will come in, then no lot of carbon emission will cut down, because refinery processes uses this LNG as a fuel, right? So instead of LNG, then we'll use water as a fuel, and we'll generate hydrogen and then use it to cut down the sulfur emissions with that. This is another one. Then if you look at another is CCUS, carbon capture, utilization and storage. Now here, a lot of things are happening. I mean, a lot of R&D is taking place. We have also set up one working model in our IEW, where with the help of carbon dioxide, we are going to create calcium carbonate. And this calcium carbonate is like, it can be used in pharma, like calcium tablets, or it can be used as a feed. So, I mean, we are trying to make that quality kind of a product which can be used in various industries. Similarly, we are also trying to have some arrangement with ONGC, where enhanced oil recovery. That means we can store, we can capture, store. I mean, we have to capture, store, and then put that carbon dioxide under the well, right? And once you, by pressurized carbon dioxide, once you put under the well, then you can increase the oil production. See, again, it is emission. Once oil will come out, it will create emission, but you are increasing the oil extraction from the well, right? By putting the carbon dioxide inside. So oil will always be required. I mean, for the mobility, etc., oil will be required. But at the same time, you are using this carbon dioxide and increasing the oil extraction. So these are the major processes what BPCL is into to cut down emissions at various places. And we, just to give more into it, we have also created one net zero retail outlet. It is a commercially viable retail outlet which we have set up between this Jaipur Highway, from Delhi Jaipur Highway, near to Rewari, correct?
Okay.
Where we are using solar, wind, and battery storage. And we are trying to avoid any energy which is going to be, which is coming from grid, or maybe, from any other sources like DG set. So our whole aim is to cut down emissions uh, with whatever possible way. And lastly, sequestration. We are using various nature-based solutions, and we are now setting up trees. As of now, we have around more than 11 lakh trees across BPCL, where which does carbon sequestration, and presently it is almost some 24,000 metric tons per year. That is what we are doing it through trees. So, I mean, I can tell you, I mean, whatever way possible we get it, we are trying to do our best to cut down emissions from our processes. That is what I say. But we are not closing down our industry. We are now keep on generating oil and then distributing, because that is required for mobility. And energy, by all means, is the indicator of growth for any country as a whole.
Gupta ji, you're right in stating that, but at the same time, one of the focus areas of India, and as we have committed to net zero by 2050, remains to reduce the use of fossil fuels, certainly. And also, the energy consumption comes at around, I mean, we are seeing 500 gigawatts of renewable energy.
Yes.
That also means kahi na kahi we have to reduce the dependence on fossil fuel and adopt to more ways of using renewable, be it solar, wind, tidal, hydro, whatever. And when we talk about all these, what comes to our mind is companies like yours, while they want to be economically viable and will keep on sourcing the fossil fuel, but then there is a time that we need to kind of start thinking about diversification. So BPCL, I'm sure, is also thinking about diversifying. You mentioned about scope 1 and scope 2 emissions. But just for that case, how do we diversify from the existing business model and include you're talking about a lot of hydrogen plants that you're talking about. You talked about 200 plants that you would be for the biogas that you would be doing.
Correct.
So all this while we are doing, what is the other way that BPCL is looking at uh, diversification, particularly from the fossil fuel to the other sector?
I'll tell you, Shalini. See, the first part, what I mentioned, is basically about scope 1 and 2. Right
Yes.
now, the second part you are talking about energy transition in scope 3.
Yeah.
Correct. So for that, as I told you, the India no presently need with Indian conditions, I think Indian growth will go up to 2040. I mean, that is what the projections are. Correct. We have taken a target for 2040. Europe has taken a target for 2050 as net zero.
Yes.
So what I told you is India is the projections what people have given is by 2040, 45, India will be at the peak of requirement of energy, right? So till that time, at least you will find there is growth in refining as well as marketing of petroleum products, which is around some 4%. And all these energy transition things will also go side by side. So I'll tell you, I'll now with examples, I'll tell you. See, 2 years back, there was only no single EV station, correct, with BPCL, or 2 or 3 years back, right? Today, we have almost some 5,000 EV stations, right, across country. So this is the transition which is taking place because more acceptability started coming with the EV vehicles among the people, right, community. So that is what we are also in line with them to put more and more EV stations so that people will not have problems. Another initiative what we have taken is that across highways, 200 highways, with every 100 kilometer we have set up an EV station. So if you are moving on highway, you will not have a problem of no charging of EV vehicle. Right. Within the city, though, still you will get, but on highways, no, one always have a fear, no, where to go and what to do. So that condition, no, we as a company has taken up, and we are setting up stations across like this. So this is one part is EV, right? Second is, as I told you, biofuel. Yeah, with biofuel policy, India is, putting up almost 20% ethanol into petrol, and this reduces emissions, per liter of petrol, because no, you are using biofuel, and with life cycle, biofuel is almost 25% does emission as compared to petrol, right? So, and as it is increasing. Correct. See, till last year it was only 11%. Now it is increasing, and India and oil companies are trying to increase the production of ethanol, because that will not only help oil companies, it will also help farmers, because they'll also get the equivalent amount of money to sustain themselves, as well as their waste is also being used, right? So I am hopeful that no more and more agriculture waste will be used. I mean, this is the process of transition once again. Similarly, CBG, no, Satat, as a scheme which government has run, and oil companies are setting up CBG plants across India, where no, there is an offtake agreement which has been done. So whosoever is going to generate CBG, oil companies have confirmed that they will offtake from there with agreement, right? So he does not have a problem of sale of that CBG, and that CBG will be used as as a blend in CNG, and which will be used in all those vehicles which are plying on the road. So this is another action which we are doing. Then hydrogen, as I mentioned to you, hydrogen is used as refinery fuel, and hydrogen can also be mixed with CNG, right, to cut down the emission. See, you cannot eliminate everything, but you have to slowly cut down those emissions which are getting generated. Another is that renewable energy, as you mentioned. No, right now we are using fuel cell. I mean, more and more hydrogen bus, fuel cell, these things are coming up. But it will take time, with the development of the technology and more people acceptance that will come in. So this will also happen. The one more very important thing is oil companies have set up 2G technology to generate ethanol. Okay. Normal ethanol is being generated through molasses from sugar plant.
Right.
Correct. But presently, we are also trying to generate ethanol through agriculture waste. And IOC has set up at Panipat. We are setting up at Bargad. Bargad is in Odisha, and HPC in Bhatinda, with 100 KL per day kind of production. And once this will go, then maybe more and more plants will come in, and even your Delhi Parali no problem will also go away, because all this agriculture waste will be used for generation of ethanol over there. So energy transition is taking place, Shalini. Only thing is, it looks to be a slow process, but as I mentioned, like EV suddenly it increased. I mean, three
Yeah,
years
there
back,
has been
hardly any
years
vehicle
like
is
that.
there. And today, almost 20-30% market has come up. Earlier, Maruti does not have any vehicle of EV, and they did not have any plan. And Tata has grabbed the market. Today, Maruti has again come up. So the market dynamics changes frequently with the change of policy as well as the energy transition.
Right, sir. I think you're right about that. I think and when you talk about the Delhi pollution and how the agriculture waste, the parali from that will reduce, and we are waiting, and we are hopeful that very soon will
Yeah,
get rid of our annual problem that appears.
correct.
While going through your report, sir, you have very categorically mentioned about two things, and that caught my attention. One, you've talked about uh, particularly the procurement from local suppliers, and that stands at approximately 37%.
Correct.
So I think when we talk from the circular perspective, it is very important to include the local suppliers and not uh, look at very long, elongated supply chains, but smaller supply chains. And what you're
Correct.
doing is exactly that, shorter supply chains by using the local suppliers. How has that, and what is the vision behind it? It looks like quite astonishingly very nice initiative. Can you shed some light on it, sir?
Shalini, in case of procurement, now today government has mentioned that we have to use GEM platform. Correct. So GEM is a platform which is being used, and in our company, we follow absolute government policies because we are also a public sector. So we ensure that whatever targets are being given are met. And today, no tender we can issue without GEM portal. I mean, either you have to take a special approval for that, or no, if it is possible, then we have to issue tender through GEM portal where everyone can participate. Okay. On top of that, government has also said that our procurement, they have given a target that from MSME, who we consider as a local supplier, there's a target of 25% from MSME sector. And
Sure.
there is a policy where they have been given preference also. Let's say, no, if there are two tenderers and if one MSME is there, then he has been given a no preference to purchase. Okay. If he is even 10% higher, then also he should be given the order. So we follow that in letter and spirit, and we ensure that if any MSME is there, we can engage them. And that is how this, it is not, we are not limited up to 25%. If it's possible, we have gone beyond that. And now that is what you are saying, 37%. So MSME is actually considered as local supplier, and from them we are trying to take as much as possible, wherever possible, with any import if we need to do, because no industry, lot of technology changes there, so we need to go for import. But if anything is required to be done, then again a special permission from MOP, and I mean ministry, is to be taken. And every purchase we ensure that local content to an extent of 80% should be there. I mean that is a policy and we maintain that. There is no violation. We ensure that everything is maintained. Whatever policies are there, we should follow that. And that is how the supplier, purchaser, local content, everything is going side by side. Now today that BRSR is also focusing on supply chains. Right. Besides MSME, we are also
Yeah.
looking at whatever procurement we do, it should be green procurement, it should be easy to procure, it is sustainable, right? Even the circular, I mean, the in plastic also, if any, no, I mean, recirculation would be possible, or no, I mean, recycling is possible. Even used oil also we are trying to look into, and from UCO, used cooking oil also, we are trying to make biodiesel. So anything and everything which is possible today as an oil company, we are trying to see how that can be used. I mean, that is how we are increasing the circularity.
Sure.
Yeah.
I'm sure, sir, because your report also talks about something which is called material management, and
Yeah.
you very specifically said that beyond reducing the emissions, water management through techniques like rainwater harvesting, and you're also, I think, have this STPs to reuse the water as much as possible. You've also spoken about the biodiversity and how you're looking at biodiversity conservation and the material management. So the last two, biodiversity and material, is very important from the circular perspective. Would you like to share what is the initiative that BPCL is taking on these two fronts, sir?
Shalini, with examples, I'll tell you. Like in Mumbai refinery, there was a time when we were taking no total water from BMC, correct? But I mean, at one point of time, BMC water was not available, and we have to go for. I mean, that was the time I think we, along with RCF, Rashtriya Chemical and Fertilizers, we have set up a plant of 22 MLD of STP. Okay, it's a huge plant, almost 100 crores has been spent there, where BPCL share was 40% and RCF 60%. So our share was 6 MLD, 6 million liters per day.
Mm-hmm.
And we are consuming the total quantity, it is 35% of fresh water requirement, right? Without fresh water, refinery cannot run. I mean, water is indicator of refinery efficiency also. If your water, fresh water reduces by 5%, refinery efficiency also comes down by 5%. I mean, it is to that direct relationship is
Direct
there.
relation, yeah.
Na? And with this, what we did is we have set up this the STP, right? We are taking this water, wastewater from BMC, and cleaning that. And today, almost 2200 million liter of, I mean, 6 MLD kind of a million liter that water we are using. And with that, our total dependency on BMC has come down. I mean, this is another system we have developed on our own. Cost is similar, right? I mean, whatever we are procuring from BMC, the cost is similar, but we have created our own system now from wastewater. And no, I mean, the quantity of water which is left for BMC is sufficient for 50,000 families today per year. I mean, that is the amount of water now we stopped taking from BMC. I mean, otherwise they were taking out, and now we are using a clean water through our own processes. So it's a major no initiative that we have done. With that, total BMC dependency we have cut down.
Very nice.
Similarly, in carbon sequestration, I mean, this trees, no biodiversity, as I told you, we are setting up more and more trees. We have adopted one Miyawaki technique, right? Where in a small area you can, plant lot of trees. So in all our locations, and almost 75 locations, we have done Miyawaki plantation. Okay, across India. We have also connected with the railways, and with railways, we have set up Miyawaki. With IIM Mumbai, we have no in their area, we have set up. With railways, located in their stations, we have no put up Miyawaki plants. So with that, we are increasing plantation. We are cutting down emissions because plants help us in absorbing the carbon dioxide, right? At the same time, this also gives biodiversity because no trees are helpful in generating fruits. It is useful. No birds, etc. They sit there and automatically the natural this composting starts over there. So that is another way that biodiversity we have improved. Right. So water is one focus area, like as you mentioned, rainwater harvesting. We have almost 13 lakh square meter of rainwater harvesting and almost 640,000 KL of water we saved. No, in our Mumbai refinery, almost 80% of seawater we are using. Now, we are not using fresh water. I mean, that is the fresh water quantity what I mentioned. But another thing is we try not to use fresh water, we consume seawater. I mean, seawater is something which is in abundance and it is not disturbing anyone. So, I mean, these are the initiatives that, as a company we are taking up. We are trying to see that, more and more plantation is taking place. If it is not possible at our location, then other place like seed bombing in Maharashtra region, we have done 5 lakh seed bombing. And the best part is we have no monitored through NGO. We have used no SIES as agency institute, and they have planted 5 lakh trees, and we monitored through this I mean identification GIS mapping. We have monitored trees, and we got survival rate of almost 15 to 20%. Whereas seed bombing only gives you 5 to 10%. With our monitoring, etc., almost 1 lakh trees survived. So, I mean, it's a huge quantity. That is what we have done. We are also putting up almost tree plantation in 90 hectares at our Bina refinery. Now, it's again a big project where we are also looking for green credits. Right. From, I mean, once the credit system will start from the government through BE, maybe this will also qualify over there, and we'll try to see that if we can get some green credits over there.
Yeah.
We are also doing biodiversity study at our Bina refinery, where flora, fauna, etc. Every 5 years we are doing it. And same thing we are extending to Kochi and Mumbai refinery also, to ensure that our operations are not spoiling anything. And even zero waste to landfill certification we have taken for Bharat Petroleum. I mean, we are the only oil company, I think, across world who has taken this. And we ensure that through our operations, that land is not getting spoiled through oil and all that. That is what I mean, towards biodiversity we are taking action. Yeah.
Wonderful, sir. I think some very good initiatives you mentioned. I think your biodiversity survey is also equally important to see whether the biodiversity is actually increasing or it is just the
Yeah, yeah,
activities, and we think that activities are sufficient to kind of do that. I completely agree. Before I move forward, sir, I think supply chain plays an extremely important role.
yeah.
When we talk about net zero by 2040, you need to not only educate your own employees but also your supply chain. So though your 30, almost 37% of your supply comes from the MSMEs, it is very important to kind of educate these MSMEs also on sustainability and circularity and make them a part of the evolution that we are talking about. So is there anything that BPCL does to capacity build, train the supply chain?
Yeah, yeah, Madam Shalini, we have a lot of activities and programs for supply chain. And today in this BRSR also, the SEBI report, annual report, they have also mentioned a lot of activities towards supply chain. So what we do is we ensure, whenever possibility is there, we call them, we conduct programs, we inform them what BPC is taking initiative and how they can assist in doing the things which is possible, which is useful for BPC as a company, because we both are interconnected.
Sure.
And it is not only through them, even through major industries also we try to do it, because they are also our supply partners. Now, either we supply to them or thus they supply to us, either of the way. We can be, vendor supplier relationship is there. And even our retail outlets, petrol pumps, DSM training we carry out, even LPG distributorship also we carry out training. These suppliers, contractors, etc., whosoever is working within our location, we conduct a lot of training programs where we talk about not only safety but sustainability also. Now,
Sure.
what actions can be done so that, and without their help, let me be very honest with you, without their help, this zero waste to landfill certificate was impossible. Correct. Because their assistance is required. They should ensure that whatever we are generating waste, it should be disposed of properly. And no proper data, proper management should be done. Then only this can happen. Otherwise, difficult. So that way, a lot of activities we are doing for supply chain, and I am sure slowly more and more will come up. Not depending on the statutory requirements, I think more will come up.
Sure. I'm sure, sir, more will come. And my last question would be about uh, the CSR. I see uh, there is almost 128 crores of CSR that BPL spends on almost more than 10 lakh beneficiaries. It would be not wise of me to ask about the impact that CSR is making on the lives of common Indian, and how is BPCL creating that impact?
Shalini, our focus area in CSR, we have taken 5 focus areas, right? One is health and hygiene. So for that, no, lot of activities are being done. We are giving lot of equipments also to hospitals. Cancer is one area where we are focusing a lot, and lot of initiatives or lot of equipments have been given to various government hospitals, etc. We are also running a hospital on a train, in the northeast area, or no UP, Bihar, that area, where in train a person can come get medication, all those kind of things, because in those areas it is difficult. These are aspirational districts where it is difficult to get the possible medical help. So this is a mobile hospital, kind of a system that we PPCL is running. This is one initiative, but across India, lot of hospitalization or lot of help has been given for medical aid. Right. Then water is another area where Project Boons we have started. It's a long run process. For last many years we are running it. And in that, wherever the water is scarcity is there, we are trying to create community health. With the help of community health, we are trying to create rainwater harvesting, bund making, those kind of things, so that it will become from water scarce to water extra, right? Water positive area. And another is skill development, and then community development. Okay, and again, development, lot of skill part has been given. Under skill development, lot of training has been given. We are engaging people to give various kind of trainings, where where there is a possibility of jobs prospects. And not only that, those people have also been engaged, either through us or through contractors, or that way they can start their livelihood in a better manner. Right. So these are the focus areas. So we are taking a lot, and we are trying to see that not only we, along with us, community should also get developed. They are also being taken care of. And no, the nearby areas or the villages, they also grow. Right. Unless they grow, no, you as a company also cannot grow, because both should grow together. I think that is the idea, no, that BPC as a company always looks for.
I think that's a wonderful note, Mr. Gupta, that you can't grow alone. It has to be grown in an engaged
Mm.
manner. And if you take the communities along, nothing like it. I think that's
Yes.
a very nice statement to make. Thank you so much, Mr. Gupta, for a wonderful session. We learned a lot about how the fossil-based organizations can make a transition while looking at their scope 1 and scope 2, but also to diversify to reduce their scope 3 emissions. And for a country like India, which is aiming to be which is the fifth largest economy and in aiming to be the fourth and third largest economy, a 5 trillion economy, a Viksit Bharat by 2047 would not happen when we all look at this kind of transition and work towards it. Thank you very much, Mr. Gupta. It was very nice engaging with you.
Thank you, Shalini. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, bye.